But then it wasn't. Then we changed it over here, right?
Right.
To same system as micro.
Audio.
Oh no, we want this speaker.
No, right.
Can you hear
Yeah, there's like crazy.
Ray, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
And that's
He
not
said,
right. He said he can hear us, but we need the speaker. Hello?
Hello?
That's what we want.
Wouldn't that be crazy that you're like walking in the park and all of a sudden someone just one just hits you right in the face?
Yeah, they fall.
Yeah, it's fall.
We were just making sure the speaker's on the big board.
Oh, good.
I don't know how low they have their board.
Okay, so being 6 o'clock, we'll call this meeting to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Will you please stand for us? I pledge allegiance to the
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
like that. Concert. Like it's not right. We'll have introduction of guests. We will start over here, Mr. Miles, and work our way around. If you let us know who you are, and right here, we appreciate it.
Miles.
Dustin Miles is down.
I'm Lacey Thompson. Have my Darian as well. I'm gonna go back to her Gavin.
Nice. And you, kind sir?
No bean.
Brandy Bean. Too little. Not a little. Here's her husband.
Perfect. Okay, we had to have to add anything to the agenda. I believe so. And then good to great. We started in Jessica. Ms. Jordan.
You make me start.
Ah, there you go.
I made eye contact. I can tell what happened. That's great. I didn't plan ahead. I think that I am always enjoying how beautiful the campus is, and I know we could have used a real winter. The sunshine has been nice.
Let's see, we have what, 2 middle school wrestlers going to state, if I remember correctly, right?
One to state.
One to state.
2 fourth place.
That's right.
Our archery team has made an amazing impact on their fundraising, so Zach gave us an update that all the hotel rooms and everything were paid for state competition coming up for all the archers and their families from all the fundraising, so
Yeah.
they did great.
I would actually, now that she said that, did you see the flyer that they put out for that? It was pretty amazing.
It was good.
Actually,
Mine's going to be every year the board sets the calendar for the school year. This year we asked for more data. I think we have about 110 responses back and forth to the different data points we asked, and I think that's pretty awesome. Not as much as we thought we could get, but it's a lot more than we've got in the past. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, mine is a little bit different. We had a transportation audit that came in, and the transportation audit from ODE looked at our type 20 buses and they grounded our 2 type 20 buses. And they grounded them because of seat belts. The state of Oregon does not, you either can't have a seat belt or you need to have a shoulder belt. You can't have a waist belt because studies show that the waist belt breaks necks when they hit the seat in the front. And so, and you have to remove them. And you have to, and not just anybody can remove these seat belts. Granted, our maintenance crew could have removed them in 20 minutes, but legally with liability, we weren't able to do that. So we ended up taking them to Canby and found a company that met the requirements to be able to remove them. And so we're working on getting our type 20 buses back on the road, which is a big deal for our school district. So kudos to our maintenance crew and being able to problem solve that, because there were some pretty big hurdles there.
We had, for the first time since I've been here, we know what we're teaching next year by a couple weeks ago, so we were able to put some other things in place and meet some other deadlines because that all came together, which puts us ahead of the curve even more. So I'm just pretty proud that we got to a place where we're making this a system and it's running smooth. So I'm just really happy with it.
Just kind of a follow up with Natalie, not only just about archery, but it's also swim lesson time and just the amount of community support and donation financially or in items to benefit our programs.
And I don't mean for mine to always be athletic, but that's what got me through high school. And we have high school track and middle school track, and there's like 10 high schoolers out, which is awesome. And these two made it possible for like one of our middle schoolers to be able to do track too, which is super awesome. Just always opening doors for these kids to do all the things.
Absolutely. Very cool. Next.
And mine?
Oh yeah, Mr. Williams.
Oh, you don't forget me. Mine's kind of an unusual. My good to great is having a superintendent that feels that he can voice his opinion to us uninhibited and be able to have us listen and learn both directions. It's nice having a gentleman that can voice his concerns to us, feel free to do so, and then feel free in return for us to be able to voice ours back and know that we walk out of the room and smile and shake each other's hands and we're happy. So it's nice having that feeling, and I appreciate that.
Okay, so now high five awards for March. This is kind of February and March is put together, so long list here. So as I call your name, if you want to get your award from Mr. Rose and a piece of candy, that'd be great. And then once we're done, we'll take a picture outside in the hallway. So in first grade, we have Gracelyn Retman. Gracelyn has been working extremely hard in reading and math and has shown amazing growth this year. She stays focused on learning and is kind of respectful and always helpful to her classmates. In third grade, we have Landry Thompson. Landry has a positive outlook. She faces her challenges with growth mindset and is a good example and friend to her classmates. Good job, Landry. In fourth grade, we have Ryder Sutton. His progress is in reading and his teacher is very proud of him. Fifth grade, we have Valerie Warwick. Valerie is a student whose quiet presence carries a powerful impact in the classroom. While she may not always seek the spotlight, her dedication and focus speaks volumes. She's an exceptional student with a sharp and thoughtful mind after demonstrating the ability to solve problems and managing multiple tasks with impressive efficiency. Valerie's remarkable love for reading and her enthusiasm for books is truly inspiring. Her commitment to learning and her calm determination makes her a wonderful example of how quiet strength can lead to great achievement. We are very proud of Valerie and the positive example she sets for others. Sixth grade, we have Calliope Christian. Calliope always has a positive attitude, tries hard, and is cheerful and kind. She is a joy to everyone to be around. In seventh grade, we have Ari Nahar. She has been working hard to make sure to communicate clearly with her teacher. She also makes sure to do the right things, even when those around her do not.
Good job. Good job.
In eighth grade, we have Callan Coble, Callan has struggled with injury, missed days, and he's always comes back ready to work. He's a strong leader for middle school students. In the eighth grade, we have Haley Wetzel, who has a positive attitude, stays on task, gets her work done, work turned in on time, in spite of the fact that she misses classes due to extracurricular activities. Ninth grade, Jay Brown, and Jalen has demonstrated outstanding commitment through her excellent attendance and consistently brings a positive attitude when she enters the classroom. She approaches every assignment with determination and optimism, always making the best of each learning opportunity and setting a strong example for her peers. In 10th grade, of Colton Lindstrom. Colton has been doing an amazing job of being respectful in the class while we have been studying the Holocaust. He is a very good student, thought-provoking questions, and is very empathetic in the way he analyzes and responds to things. He's also for the National Honor Society, which is definitely deserves. 11th grade, we also have Eric Lukey. Eric is taking the early college writing 121 class seriously, using his online period productively to complete his work and for getting excited about taking future early college classes. And for stepping up and being a great sous chef in culinary. In 12th grade with Abby Hansen, as she is committed to Arizona State. In 12th grade, Zach Crawford, who is enrolled in the Marine Corps. Zach is enrolled in the Marine Corps, shipping off to boot camp in August. 12th grade, Michael Larson continues to show growth and interest in woodshop-based projects. He's always shows up with a positive attitude and is always ready to help other students when needed with their projects. And in 12th grade, we have Cassie Little. Cassie is hardworking, reliable, and driven, and a good communicator. That is our 5 5s for the month. So congratulations, everybody. Step outside, take a quick picture. We're going to get the teacher input, community input, and the rest of the business of the board. So if you want to stay, you're more than welcome to. But if you leave, we won't hold it against you.
Picture time. Oh, man, I think you shocked me. Oh. We will, we'll recognize Zach at graduation. So.
Squish slime things.
Yeah, she's on my side. Don't look at her. We're meeting with you.
Good job. About miles a million.
It's bigger. Yeah.
I steered.
You guys are staying.
I wanted to pay attention. I was like, I don't think I want it.
Oh.
And she was just like,
I don't know what she's doing.
So I have a quick question.
no, I want to go home.
For the ride. You guys are good to. We're just getting the business of the board. So if you want to stay, you're more than welcome to. Or you want to listen to business?
Nope.
For the torture of Ari, she should stay.
Oh.
I'm out.
Well, take care. Have a good night. Okay.
You're free to go.
Fire.
Unless you want to stay.
Thanks for all your service today, Eric.
Not
Oh,
very-
yeah, food.
Oh, yeah, always food with Eric.
Oh, yeah, no, for real.
I just want some.
For
We'll
real.
get
Yeah,
some.
take it.
Get some.
He made the chicken, so the chicken was
It
really
was
good.
actually really good, Eric. Thank you.
It's really good.
It's really good.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
It was.
Good.
Yeah, it's very delicious. Okay, so quick question. How are we at contacting parents with these awards? Because it seems like we have a lot of kids not coming up.
I called them the week before and,
Yeah.
and call
Okay.
until somebody answers.
Okay,
Yeah, we called them.
so you do call them on the phone, and do you ever get them answering?
Well, I call them until they answer. I mean, I'll leave a voicemail, but then I will call them until like the rest of the week if they don't answer. But I called them. I talked to most of them on the phone.
Yeah, and they still didn't come.
They're like, oh
Did we
yeah, it's the
mention?
same every month. I mean, it's the same that it was last year.
Okay.
Well, like Haley's at practice, Abby's at practice.
After the board meeting.
Yeah,
I know some of them are all good things, but some of them aren't, so I was just,
That's a good, that's a great
I just feel like
idea,
there's a-
actually.
they're missing out on something kind of cool, so.
Recognize kids in front of their peers,
So-
so announcing it.
After
Well,
the board meetings, I'm gonna add them to the morning announcements. So
Oh, okay,
that
good.
they get more publicity. And
That'd be
I'll talk a
awesome.
little bit about awards tonight too.
And it reminds them to come get their certificate. So.
Yeah, then Sandra doesn't have to call them one by one.
Hey, teacher input. Like we have any teachers in the audience, community input, anything we need to know? We'll start with consent motions. 3.1 and 3.2.
I move to approve the consent motions as written.
Ray, did you get the edit on the personnel action report?
Yes,
So the motion to accept 3.1, 3.2.
A second.
Any questions or debate? Then we'll start with Mr. Rose.
Yeah.
Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Baker. Yes. Mr. Williams,
yes.
and I vote yes as well. Regina, on a quick note, although you won't be back next year, thank you for all what you've done this year. We appreciate it, Mary, and good luck with your doing.
Thanks. Yeah, yeah.
Reports and communication, 4.1, Mr. Stone.
Mr. Stone, all right. I'm gonna buzz through this, but there's quite a bit. So we are working with Melissa Taylor from the community, trying to write an archery grant for an outdoor facility, a shooting facility, to put in an outdoor facility. Today I sent off the budget for that. Looks like it's about a $30,000 project, give or take a few bucks. But she's taken that on. We have if you guys are around on the 18th of March, that happens to be my birthday. So you can stop by and say hello and bring me a birthday cake.
Note to self.
You like, but a bigger deal on March 18th is we have a career expo that's here. That's a big deal for our kids. And if you're not involved and you'd like to stop by and check that out, please do. It'll be in the big gym. As you know, we've had 2 snow days. We still meet the 990-hour requirement in the secondary school. So at this point, we don't have any more snow days. We're good. We still fall under the time. I actually thought about adding a day or 2 back, but I think we're still under. We still meet the minimum requirement, so we're good to go there. We moved the comprehensive plan. We had to cancel because of the snow days to March 17th. So please mark your calendars for March 17th. I know it's St. Patrick's Day.
No, it's a goat tagging night.
Oh, geez. Well, maybe we need to move it to another night then.
Yeah.
I'll take a look at that
Okay.
and see if we can. And then I want to kind of talk a little bit about philosophy, the conversation I had with our seniors that didn't go very well, that I want to share with our board. As a superintendent of a school district, I wholeheartedly believe in the traditions of school. And those traditions there's many of those traditions that are institutional, meaning they're bigger than any class, any individual. And the institutional piece of graduation with commencement is a big deal to me personally. It's also, I believe, a big deal to the alumni prospect and the community prospect. And I've been part of school systems where graduation was a mockery, where commencement was a mockery. Everything from crazy stuff being floated around in the air during commencement to people with air horns and people screaming and yelling and showing up with trumpets and craziness. And then the decorations and stuff. And what I shared with kids is that there's about 4 things in your life that you get dressed up for, that you'll always remember the day of. The first one is commencement. And so, young men, you're going to wear a tie and you're going to wear decent jeans or something that's nice. And we're not going to have flip-flops, and you're going to dress up for it because it's a memorable evening that your family gets to celebrate 13 years of hardship and support. And you represent something larger than yourself. You represent your family. You represent being a Prospect Cougar. And so one of the things about being an institution is to come in as a class and leave as a class. Yes, there's individual accolades, but I explain it like this. Like in weddings are traditional. Even weddings that are non-traditional, they still have traditional components to it. There's a difference between the ceremony and the reception. And the reception's the party after. The ceremony is tradition. Dad still walks daughter down the aisle. Groom always stands at the front, in most cases, waiting for the bride to show up. There's some type of pomp and circumstance, if you will, to the bride coming down the aisle, to flower girls, to ring bearers, and all the things that go with a wedding. And then there's the party afterwards, the reception, where everybody lets their hair down and enjoys and has a good time. It's the same thing in commencement, that where you have a ceremony that needs to be respectful and first class. And it's first class in every capacity, with how we dress, what the expectation is with our gowns and our caps, our shoes, how we act, because we represent something that is institutional. And as classes come and classes leave, commencement happens every year. And so commencement is bigger than any individual. And so I've tried to explain this to our seniors. And we have a small cross section of seniors that are struggling with the idea that they can't make a mockery of what they think would be appropriate. And one of the things that I put my foot in the ground on is decorating caps. And one of the reasons why I do that is because it creates individualism that separates themselves from a class. And commencement is finishing as a class. You come and you finish as a class. Yes, there's an individual piece, you earn the diploma, yada, yada, yada. But to create consistency with how our kids look, I've just said, we're not decorating caps. And I've done that ever since I've been here. I've done that everywhere I've been. And it has largely been accepted by every community that I've been part of. And I just want you to know that in case you hear something about it, that's the conversation that I had with seniors. And I'm not a stick in the mud. I understand people want to individualize things. And for the reception, for meeting the kids in the middle, we ordered caps, an additional cap for every kid. So if they want to decorate a cap and get pictures at the reception, they can decorate a cap and wear their cap after commencement's over. And so that was my give to kind of meet kids in the middle with it. But I just wanted you to know that that conversation's going on, and there's a couple of kids that are upset over it. And I tried to let them down as lightly as I could. And there was some pretty major attitude and disrespect that came out of that. And I'm sure we'll end up in a good place, but I just wanted you guys to be aware of that. For me, commencement is like one of the most important things that you do as a school district. It illustrates the success that you've had with a class of kids for 13 years that have literally had 250 to 300 adults in their life over the course of that 13 years get them there to where they walk across that stage and they get to do it. They come in as a class and they get to leave as a class. And to me, that's first class. And we're going to have a first class commencement as long as I'm here. And this is this is how I describe first class. So
How do you enforce it?
I'll have an extra cap and I'll give them an option. If they want to fight me, then they won't walk. And if there's an issue with it, I'll communicate with parents the best I can and proactively. We don't want to get to that point to where we're taking something away from kids and their family. Let's see the merit of what we're trying to do. And sometimes you don't get to control every decision about everything that you think is within your sphere of influence. And kids, this is a good learning lesson for these kids that sometimes things are bigger than you. And you need to learn to deal with that. So anyhow, I've not in 20 some years of being involved in commencement, I've never had a kid not walk because of it. They've all recognized that, oh yeah, you know what, I may not like it, but I can respect it. But it seems like we have a couple of kids this year that
There's a class.
A little bit different.
Juniors and seniors that would do it.
Yep. And then the last thing I wanted to share with you, I wanted to share a little legislative. As you guys know, the short session was over, and I kind of want to just give you a heads up. There were more than 300 bills that were introduced and filed during the short session. There were 62 education bills that went through that could potentially affect students in schools. And you probably heard about HR1. HR1 is going around. It's been in all the news about the federal impact of if Oregon doesn't comply with certain things that the federal government says that you must, like immigration policy or whatever, then they're going to pull funding. And that potentially could cost the state about $800 million, between 7 and 800 million. And so trying to rebalance the budget with that hole and protect those core services was a real challenge for the legislature, because for them, the legislature, which has a supermajority of Democrats in it, felt like, you know, that the federal government's tyrannical, and we are going to do what Oregon wants to have be done, and it doesn't matter whether there's money tied to it or not. So they went back and forth with some debating on that, and as you know, Trump and his administrations are Republican, so there's really a divide there in the state. One of the big major issues was responding to the impacts around increased federal immigration enforcement, transportation funding, balancing the state budget without impacting education and other critical services, all while trying to navigate a variety of shifting dynamics in the state, federal, and global level. So it was a pretty big deal to try to come up with a way that they could backfill that without tapping into the rainy day fund, which they did not do. There were lots of voice concerns from K-12 advocates. One of the big ones that got a lot of press was this Bay Area hospital. They passed a finance bill. It's House Bill 4075, where they guaranteed a loan to Bay Area Hospital in Coos Bay for $44 million. And the legislature they reallocated education dollars to be able to get that loan because that hospital's struggling financially in Coos Bay. And so they did that on education dollars, and there's a bunch of education people that are pretty upset over that they made that and said, well, what happens if the hospital goes broke then, and they fold shop, then it comes back and they end up taking money from the education fund because they loaned against it. One of the big passes was House Bill 4079, and I won't go into the whole deal, but it was basically policies concerning federal immigration authorities entering public education property. That basically there was lots of growing concerns around the federal government just showing up on campus and taking kids that were undocumented, that were going to school in our schools and jerking them out of schools. It requires, and you'll see some of this coming down the pipe from OSBA, the bill requires board policies to be adopted and put in place concerning this before September 30th of this fall. Senate Bill 1538 ensured access to public schools for all students, and that passed. Again, it's a landmark Supreme Court case that decided in 1982 that all children, regarding of whether they're legal or not, have a right to be in school. And what they did was they're modeling the state law so that trumps the federal law, so the feds can't come in and nab a kid and deport them with their families. Again, there'll be policy updates on that also. The education technical fixes, House Bill 4066. It basically amends the current statutes to clarify school districts are not required to include at least one member of the district equity committee on the district's budget committee if a member of the district equity committee is unable to serve on the budget committee. So isn't that crazy? I mean, we went all through that whole process, but now they're changing it. House Bill 4160, cardiac emergency response plans, that we have to have the AEDs on campus, which we do. The difference is they have to be embedded in the emergency operation plan, and that emergency operation plan has to be in a place where people can gain access to it, and people have to be trained with CPR and AEDs. All coaches have to have now a current CPR card, so they'll have to have it every year that they coach, which is an expense.
I think Jesse Brownlee teaches that.
Yeah. Codifying McKinney-Vento Act, House Bill 4148 or 49. Basically, the feds were thinking about changing the McKinney-Vento Act, and the state of Oregon's like, no, you're not changing what we're doing with homeless kids. And so they embedded and passed a law that basically, conveys key rights to homeless kids that follow school access, which, like, if we have a homeless kid that has a place to sleep at here in Prospect, but their main home or their main school is in Medford, then there's laws and there's rules, policy around that in the state of Oregon that the school district where they live has to pay to transport that kid to their home school and at that expense. And so there's some of that stuff that's coming through the code that they're putting in law with McKinney-Vento. Attendance with chronic absenteeism data and reporting, that's House Bill 4154. That passed. It was kind of a big one. Basically, that we have to report, I believe it's, we have to report back like 5 or 6 times a year, at least 10 days before, no. So the percentage of students who are chronically absent after a student has been enrolled in a school district and public charter school for at least 10 days during the reporting period. We have to report how many numbers of kids are chronically absent. Like typically speaking, we do that already on the state report card. This is going to be progress monitoring with chronically absent kids. And it'll cost some money to be able to track it, yada yada yada. And then play-based learning, Senate Bill 1596, which is interesting. It defines free play, guided play, and play-based learning, and permits the State Board of Education to allow play-based learning to be considered as an instructional time for K-5 students. So like what we're doing with are you yakking?
No, Haley finally showed up.
Oh,
I said
Oh.
he should have let her come in.
oh, I thought you
today.
were trying to give me the hook.
No.
And so anyhow, even though we're using Playworks, we don't use it as instructional time. If we ever needed to, we could though. Class size is a mandatory subject in bargaining. House Bill 4011 did not advance. I would tell you that class size is probably going to be something that's going to rear its head again during the long session when they get back together, especially in large districts. That seems to be a hot button. The other one that didn't advance, it was kind of a big one, was student discipline and essential skills requirement. Senate Bill 1572. Basically, it is to take a look at a reinstitution of essential skills. One of the reasons why it didn't pass is because the testing system in the state of Oregon is so inconsistent. And there's only certain grades that we test. They're hoping that at some point when local assessments are reported on and we have the local assessments down, the essential skills will come back at some point. And that, my friends, is a wrap. Any questions? Ray, no questions?
Well, a bunch, but not for you, for the state.
Okay.
All right, I'm up.
We're playing 2.
All right, I'll move us from right. I threw in daylight savings time since it's already done enough damage for one day. I'm hoping we get out of here before dark. Yeah, there's a couple other things up there about springtime, and I like the one about spring is like school improvement because everything looks promising, but somebody still has to pull the weeds.
Yep. Yep.
All right, so teaching assignments already been set. I covered that in my Good to Great. 26, 27. That schedule isn't set. That's the abracadabra part of it all. Sit down and do the rocket science, nuke it out. Professional development has begun already, still continues. We're sticking with some of the same things. Specific things on setting students up for success, just by being intentional and strategic and by honoring your professional duties. So it's kind of creating an awareness around, hey, these professional duties exist for these reasons. I'll get to it down here later. Classroom management plans are a thing. I decided not to spring on folks this year because we have to become proficient at some of the other things that we're studying and practicing in professional development. But those will be on the docket when we come back for in-service, and we'll start the awareness and the thinking about that in our next professional development in May. So what
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Clarifying question. It's not that we don't have classroom management plans, it's that what's the difference between what you're instituting versus what we currently are doing?
consistency across the board.
Meaning what?
If Josh wears a hood in my class, but not in Mr. Stone's class. If we give direction or redirection in any way, it's consistent that way. If I don't see, well, there's screw top everywhere else except right there. Some of these things I'm going around modeling. You're out of here. If somebody's got an energy drink and a screw top in one room while the other person is working their tail off to maintain the integrity of not having that, we're consistent with one another on that. We're gonna practice it next week. We're gonna talk about it Thursday morning. We're gonna practice redirecting hoods, energy drinks and screw tops. Just an easy place to re-engage with our integrity.
So baby steps for
Baby.
consistency across the board.
Right, and we're going to measure that. So we have a rotating staffing system where we talk about data and impact and the professional growth that we need to do in order to meet some goals. So we'll measure those things, but that, I'm framing classroom management, on creating awareness, of your locus of control. You can't control if Simon brings energy drink to the board meeting. You can control the structure that you create and I won't say enforce, but encourage there. So that's what we're working on there. So and we're measuring things. Yes.
Just coughing.
Okay. All right. So hey, I'll move it up. Okay. Hey, I'm looking for a head football coach. I need somebody finding one with some experience and character traits that meet my standards. So I'm looking for somebody that can encourage kids and build character. So if you guys help me do some recruiting, I'm all open to that. Athletics as a whole, they're gonna undergo an overhaul this spring. If you want to be part of that, reach out and I'll include you in some of the schedules. Even if you just want to be a fly on the wall and see how it unfolds, we're going to talk about building character and teaching kids to compete, not just at the game, but in the big picture. The goal is to become true competitors. That's character, discipline, and effort. And those are things you may have to remove some barriers to teach. Are you here for an award? No?
She is.
Let's go down. Part of this overhaul is parents and fans will have clearly defined and meaningful roles. So, and then we'll have how you communicate with coaches and referees and things like that. Planning on having that when I get the coaching staff put together.
Are you gonna put a big poster together for parents? This is your role. Just point to the
But we're gonna
sign.
paint it on the wall.
Yeah, big things, parents. Shh.
Right. Yes, and so one of those things is a pre-season eligibility meeting. That the eligibility is the key word. You come to this meeting or there's no eligibility for participation.
Oh.
This will be where coaches get their communications out. It'll be delivered by admin as far as this is your role, this is what we invite you to do, this is how you communicate when you have an issue. All of those things will be set. We have a slide that we're going to take notes and develop a whole entire thing so everybody's on the same page. So
How do you do that if you have parents that can't come?
can't come,
So
you work it out. You don't make it
backup
an
plan,
impossible thing to do. You just say, hey, I want you to look, I want to look in your eyes and tell you that this is how you communicate with your head coach if you're dissatisfied. Those types of things, yeah. So, and then last but not least, awards week.
You shouldn't have to, but.
But you do these days.
Yeah,
We have to.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna run an awards week starting at the end of this month that takes into account high fives and prospect props. I'm gonna include staff in this. All right, so one of the way that it works is students and teachers who've been recognized, we'll put them in a drawing. I'll probably strategically pick for the first one so that I can see excitement and buy-in with this. So they'll get a chance to win a big prize.
Like how you said that.
If they don't win the big prize, then they'll still get recognition and something to walk away with that honors what they've done. So here's how it works. Names are drawn. Of course, I just said that. You're gonna get a visit from the wheel of competition. I have a spinning wheel. 5 things on it to compete with, because that's where I want to go with kids is how do you compete with and for yourself? How do you compete with other people? How do you compete in this global job market now, right? Where people from all over the country and world are, so competition's a part of it. Bend the wheel, wherever it lands is what you get to challenge you step 2. So the clicker might land on cornhole, football toss downfield into cans or into basketball hoops. Yeah. I got the hashtag there. It's supposed to say 3-point shootout. Minute for a 3-point shootout, half court shot, or field goal. Something that will be novel and fun to watch. Whatever it lands on, they're going to get a chance to compete against me for the big prize at that if they can beat me in.
Like, that's fair.
Yeah.
It's not wrestling. It's not wrestling.
So, yeah,
He's not gonna arm wrestle yet.
we'll record it and allow spectator. We will take the whole school out. We may just take the class and then record it and put it up so that kids want that chance to kick football or something more. We'll add to it if we need to adjust, but if folks are interested in competing instead of me stepping in, I'm open to that. But that's something we're going to kick off.
I think that's an awesome thing. Beat the principal.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
So anything with me.
Can you touch your shoulder like that? No, put the back of your hand. Yeah, he can't do that.
What's that?
He's like, watch us.
Touch the top of your shoulder with the back of your hand like that. Well, then, I
did
think
it.
you can do that. Not your neck.
Of course it.
Should I put that on the wheel?
That's something she could do.
All right, that's all I got.
Miss Hannah Grace, why are you here?
I wonder why.
What? Are you getting on board or something?
Probably, yeah.
That'd be fantastic. So, Haley has a positive attitude, stays on task, gets her work turned in on time, in spite of the fact that she misses classes due to extracurricular activities. So if you'd like your certificate and a piece of candy from Mr. Rowe.
Good job.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
No, that's it.
Okay.
That's it.
Perfect. 4.3 special projects.
Well, when I sat down to reflect and say, okay, what do I want to let the board know? Everything's just chugging along the same. I don't have a lot of changes to let you know about. Everything's still going forward as expected. I don't have attendance data tonight, but I will have it next week.
You want to talk about your grant that you submitted today?
Sure,
Why don't you-
I'm always hesitant to be like, and I have these eggs from chickens that I didn't count yet, you know?
Oh, here you count them, and if they hatch, it's even better.
Oh, okay, I love it.
Yeah.
Well, then I got
Hey,
a lot
Frankfurt, yeah,
going on.
This is an example of visionary leadership, friends.
It's
Zing.
it's been on my heart that
Uh.
I can understand how it feels to understand you're not coming back next year. And Kate is also, that 0.5 will probably go away, it's not been budgeted for. And so when Mr. Stone said there was the potential for a grant that would cover her whole salary.
What?
yeah.
Man, visionary leadership again. I'm sorry, I'm just.
After he made
Yeah.
a comment in the meeting.
Widgets, Ray, widgets.
Zing, there you go again.
That's an inside joke.
No, it was a really fast turnaround. That was our only concern. But you're talking about somebody's job. And so with Greg's help, I put together the grant and submitted it today. Day had made it sound like he'd had a conversation with some folks who were very encouraging about it. So this isn't like a cold call. This is something where we were encouraged to apply.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I'm still working on the one for me. I'm a little more expensive.
Exactly. Well, thank you for that. 4.4 financial support Missouri.
So financial, cash balances are holding as we go through their balance in other funds is just a difference. Last year, we were starting to have seismic costs already, getting reimbursements there. this year we have, there hasn't been a wait time on all our disbursement grants. We get percentages up front, so that's why that other funds balance is 452,000. Revenue and expenditures as anticipated, I mentioned last month, salaries and benefits would be high this month due to the 5-week payroll and all the extra duties paid out in February for sports. Other than that, budget work is in process. We are less than 60 calendar days from having a proposed budget ready to go. So all classroom department athletic budget requests are due by the end of the week. To give time for admin to review those and go from there. Dave mentioned legislative session, big thing, at least K-12 funding was protected, student success funding, so not the anticipations of what could have been there, of what we're looking at with cuts there, maintaining those at this point. ODE is sending out several estimates. We received our first estimate for 26-27, which was as expected, due to declining enrollment. We knew where that was going to be. It's pretty much flat funding in state school support, even with the second year of the biennium due to our change in EDM. For 26-27 moving forward. I've worked on salaries a little bit just within contracts. This is without classified, so this is only licensed, and confidential. Inclusive payroll costs are close to 120,000 just in that for next year to be included. 25-26 was rebalanced. 24-25, first revised estimate there will be out towards the end of March, and they will do scheduled updates for that final payment of that year by May. So lots of things coming. We knew we were looking at lower enrollment and not having that bonus year to look back and revolve on. Our teacher experience is also impacting negatively as well, which we knew was there. And then just adjustments across the state and our local revenue and transportation and ADM statewide. Other than that, the business system migration has kicked off. Vision has created download files with the download will be in test environment, launched later this week. And then with April 17th scheduled for a go live to the cloud version. E-rate category 2 was set to close last Thursday. We only received one bid, and the one bid did not include all of the equipment and software we needed. So we've extended that another week to see if we can get those bids in. TAP grants were submitted for a long-range facility, seismic, asbestos, and engineering wood systems assessment. And so know by the end of the week if we were awarded any of those.
So right now our budget, the contingency funds 401,000, just in salaries alone. These are future salaries. So then now we're down to minus 120,000. So doing quick math, 280.
Approximately, we're not going to have a lot of change in revenue. It's going to be pretty flat.
How much do you think? So total output, we're 120 if you added everybody else. 150,000 difference roughly.
It'll be more than 30,000. Our classified is roughly, I haven't worked through because there's been several position changes.
Absolutely, but if we just estimate high, I mean, what do you think?
You're at least 175,000.
On top of 120,000.
So
So,
Wait a second.
It's that total.
Yeah, that's significant. Any questions? Anything on the financials?
just a comment, at some point, right sizing is gonna have to be a conversation within the next 3 years. As a district, if our enrollment doesn't boost, we're gonna have to right size. And there's a lot of different ways you can do that, so not jumping to any conclusions, I just think the reality is that we're spending at the max for more offering a ton of stuff. But if our enrollment doesn't stay up there, then we're gonna probably be forced to do some right sizing.
So is that a better conversation to have now with this slow attrition to right sizing, or better in 3 years to take an axe to?
No, I think it's important to be looking with our eyes open right now, every year as we go and then taking a look at as people leave with programming and such. And then what our futures are. We start make some predictions about where our futures are with our enrollment, so.
Because we have big classes right now that are entering that middle school range, that once they go, it's gonna be hard to backfill behind them.
But when you look at the trends though, over the last 10 years, the numbers in our high school have gained significantly when kids get into high school because something didn't work for them down the hill. So they end up coming up here. We're in a little bit of a lull with that right now for whatever reason. But it could sure swing back the other way too.
What is the risk, like we survived this session? The long session is after the second half of the biennium starts. What's the odds of making it through that session with funding effective the end of this biennium?
It's a crapshoot. It always is because of the way that Oregon funds schools.
Yeah.
Because they can very easily come back the second year of the biennium and say, hey, we don't have the congressional or the state budget office says we could budget based on this amount, but oh, by the way, we're 600 million short. So your payment, your second half of your payment, the second year of the biennium could be way less. So that's why it's really important to be conservative as we budget moving through, because I don't trust that the second year of the biennium is if the state says, well, we're funded at this. Well, we know that funding goes up and down over the course of 2 years all the time. And so trying to create consistency and build budgets is really important. That's why to build them very conservatively so that we can weather some of those situations that may come up.
Yeah, that's a huge dip right off the get-go, and have that dip going into legislative session is kind of freaky, so. Especially at the end of the biennium and say, hey, give me 10% back.
Yeah.
10% a long time ago is a lot cheaper to give.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
We'll be okay though. We're okay. We've got a pretty conservative lens for sure. And we're already right sizing what we're doing with soft money budgets. I mean, there's conversations that are happening right now. We have budget requests that are coming in. We zero-based budgeting in this year with our soft money accounts. And so we're going to take a strong look at those soft money accounts. And if it's not something that absolutely they have to have, they're not going to get it. I mean, we're just going to tighten our belt right now. So, and start right sizing a little bit, even if it's just in incremental steps. Just realize that usually you can't cut enough pencils and enough paper to get there if you've got to cut big chunks. That big chunks come in people.
Absolutely.
So, and programs.
And building.
Yeah, that too.
Boy, it seems like there's lots of things
And
tonight. So, okay, any questions on the disbursement reports? Nothing. I have questions. Not, then we'll go to informational personnel report 4.5.
It was on the personnel action report. You probably already seen it. There's a sheet there. We had a resignation in Jeff Pearson, our head cook. We have hired Debbie Renfro as a substitute, classified substitute. And then we hired Cindy Banks as our new head cook. And then we hired Kevin Prison as our new high school head track coach.
Questions? Okay, moving on to the comprehensive plan 4.6.
Just wanted to give you the update that we were going to move it to the 17th. We'll all take a look at dates and we'll see if we can't schedule it on another date. But we've got to meet in before spring break, if at all possible. So I'll reach out to both you, Simon, and Natalie.
What's the significance of people spring break?
Just to stay on our on our schedule, to be done so that it's approved in May. we need to meet in March and April, and then May will be the approval. I don't wanna kick that out in June, we wanna do that before school's out. So it's something that we can distribute to our staff.
Did we approve the final, is the final comprehensive plan come to us before it goes to ODE?
Yep.
Or is it
It
just?
doesn't go to,
it's just our
it's just our plan, yeah.
Any questions on that? Okay, old business 5.1, wrestling facilities.
Yeah, lots of people that are interested in supporting Zach from ZC or from Taz is donating metal steps with a platform, which is like $8,000 to $10,000 to get up there. I also had reached out, actually they reached out to me. We had another electric company that was interested in helping. And I, you know, we have a pretty close family friend that's an electrician that wants to make sure that he's involved as well. So he called me today and said, hey, I just want you to know, whatever you need in that wrestling room, you call me and I'm gonna help you too. So between both electrical companies, we should be able to get lights installed and do all the electrical stuff up there too for nothing, 3 in kind. So anyhow, it's moving and grooving. We filed for permits. The architect was done with the drawings and Corey on his own accord went and submitted the permits for us. And so now we're waiting for the permits to be approved and then we can start banging on it.
Any questions? Okay, 5.2 budget committee openings. Have we had any applicants for position number 2? Then moving on into 5.3 Type 20 buses.
Yeah, kind of talked about it already, but in more depth, just give you an update. Once we got the seat belts removed, we took the buses down to First Student and they are updating all the little things that needed to be addressed on the transportation audit. And as soon as that's done, we'll get them back. We're hoping we'll have them here within the next probably 8 to 10 days. So, and back in service.
Will they certify that whatever they do, it actually meets the standard?
Yep.
Perfect.
Yep. Supposedly.
So fingers crossed, not gonna win somewhere.
And we still have to take the list of everything that we've done and then register them with ODE and go through that process, which will take a little bit of time, but we'll get it. In the meantime, like FFA State Convention, we were able to borrow a Type 20 from First Student. So Peyton's taking that to Redmond.
First Student will allow Peyton to drive one of their buses.
Yeah, yep, she's certified. It's a Type 20, it's not a big bus. It's an activity bus, like our white ones.
Yeah, but that would strange with the liability of their bus not being their driver. That's strange.
No, we have a contract with them and we have certified their people do all the education of our bus drivers. And so there's no issue with it. We pay it by the mile and it's actually gave us a really good rate, $1 a mile.
Well, it's good. That just surprises me.
Okay, any other questions? 5.4 building considerations.
All right, building considerations. This is a big one. You guys ready to strap your boots on? So
I am on 1 foot anyway.
okay, well, I'm gonna give you some numbers to play with, okay? So a 5,000 square foot bus barn that needs to be tore down at some point is gonna cost, right now, if it was to be torn down right now, it costs between 35 and 40,000. We wait 2 more years, it's probably gonna be 60 to 70,000 to tear it down. If that's eventually where we end up going. To build a new bus barn, 5,000 square foot would be a minimum of 375,000 plus the 40,000 today to tear down the old one. And that's using the footings and the concrete that's already there. So at minimum, you're looking at $425,000 to replace that bus barn at And that's if we do it today. If we wait 2 years out, that 425,000 would probably be 550 to 600,000. The building across the way over there, that's for a 5,000-foot building. The building across the way that we looked at, the old grocery store, is 14,500 square feet. It's 3 times the size of what you could build for 425,000. And he is at a place where he has reached out to Stacy Davis. Stacy has called us. There is some other people in the community that's interested in it, but he really would like, for the sake of legacy, would like to see the school district do something with the school district with that building. And that he is going to spend $20,000 to $25,000 starting this month cleaning it up, gutting the inside and cleaning the parking lot, and fixing the fence and doing some of the little things that need to be done there. And that he's at a place where he would negotiate a price. And Stacy told me straight up, I think you could get it for $175,000. And so there are obviously environmental concerns about the septic system, about the well, about the roof. If the board decided that you wanted to move on something like that, you could write it contingent in the offer that the environmental concerns are addressed. But it's an opportunity, I think, even if we do nothing with it, but use it for storage and we mothball this building, we have 3 times the storage over there. We could have indoor archery stuff over there. There's a ton of stuff that we could do with that building if we could make it environmentally safe for kids and for people, which I think we can. And it's 3 times the size of what we could build for literally half the money or less. And so I think it would behoove of us to not consider at least exploring it further. And wherever you guys end up is wherever you end up. But I keep putting this in front of you because I know that within 3 to 5 years, we're going to have an absolute train wreck on our hands with the current bus barn. And we don't want to be reactive. We want to be proactive about how we deal with that financially and with safety. And so it's just, when we ran, when we wanted to remodel that whole building into a school, if we did some of the work ourselves, we could do it for somewhere. Corey thought we could do it for somewhere around, $1 million or maybe even 800,000 to finish it. If we paid somebody to come in and do it, and we just contracted it out, it'd be $1.5 million to make a school out of it, approximately. But not making it a school, but using it as a storage facility and a place that's safe where we have 3 times the space that we currently have would be, I think, really prudent on behalf of this board to consider at least exploring it further. And so I put it out to you, and you guys can go from there.
What program or teacher are we going to lay off in order to pay for that building? You just mentioned to us just a little bit ago with the biennium and the state that finances are going to get tough. And now we're going to spend that kind of money on a building that we're not going to really use except for storage. And if the bus barn or if the pole barn building that had all of our ups and downs with didn't cost us $500,000 to build it, why is it going to cost us all of a sudden $500,000 to replace that bus barn? That we could build another pole barn and just permit it properly to begin with and get for a couple of $100,000 and have a new building there on site. I just worry about spending that kind of money, to be honest.
No, I get it. According to Corey, it's $75 a square foot today to build a pole barn there. And that puts us at that 400,000 to 425,000 with removal. So I'm just telling you what Corey shared. I don't know. I mean, this is outside of my expertise, But if we were to do something, I think it makes sense to do this. There are a lot of people that might disagree. I have bought a ton of stuff on time and I've used public money to do it in other school districts. And, you know, we raised $1 million and we put turf in 3 fields. We had to borrow about $58,000 to finish that project. And we budgeted it with our booster club for 4 years to pay off that 58,000 plus interest. And looking back on it, it was the best decision ever. That one of the best decisions I ever made as a principal, getting that done, because it created facility that our kids gain benefit from for the next 25 years over a loan that was $58,000. And I think we can do the same thing if we came up with a small down. And Sherry, I'm sure has an opinion about this, but if we had a 5 or even if it was a 10-year loan, and we could budget 25,000 or 30,000 a year towards paying it off, we could do it that way real easily. Versus just saying, oh, we're going to take 175,000 out of contingency, or out of cash money that the district has and pay cash for it, which you could do too. But I think that makes people nervous.
The example you just used for the turf for the field and the 58,000, you had a monetary source of income coming at you that we don't have. We don't have a base of people out there that are going to donate to the school in that quantity of money, that volume.
We collect taxes, right? We collect taxes and we build a budget for it the same way that we build budgets when we tax roofs.
How are we going to increase the tax base? What do you have to do to increase that tax base?
Well, it boils down to priorities. You're going to have to tighten your belt in one place to give to another. I mean, I'm not saying it's easy. I'm just saying it's possible.
Well, all right.
So, since Dave threw you under the bus a little bit, what are your thoughts?
Who did throw under the bus?
Sherry a little bit, but I think she's got her thoughts. So, love to hear that.
Oh, she's got lots of thoughts.
I'm sure she does.
I think we looked at this a year ago. I think to put the money in the things that cost to borrow, it may not necessarily make sense for 175,000. Just because with using like government capital or type of thing, the fees involved is a lot. So it would have to be, if that makes sense. And how far they would even extend it out.
On, spit it out.
We want to hear it, Sherry, because
Let's go.
we value your opinion.
You have to make decisions, and down the road, if tougher decisions come, you're gonna be the ones that have to make those decisions.
So when you do the quick math, 401,000 on contingency, right? That's 175,000 roughly, give or take, puts us down at 226,000 right now to finish out this half of the biennium, right? And then we flush that next year with roughly $226,000. So then we have just shy of $500,000 carryover in the last bit of the biennium. We're now halfway through the biennium. The legislature is most likely at some point going to say, come give me some money back.
Maybe.
Right.
But
Educated guess, right? And if you're going to weigh risk, there's probably higher risk going to take money than give money.
But within there, there's also transfers budgeted to a maintenance facility fund. So you have to decide, does this outweigh improvements here on this campus?
Well, I guess.
You have to make those decisions.
But so what is that money? Right, transfer to other funds is 300,000. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
That sits there. So
But not all of that is to maintenance facilities.
how much of that do you think roughly? Roughly just
250.
250,000 of it still, okay, so enough to pay for the building. But not, give or take a little bit, if you pay
Yeah.
cash out of it, which is a little bit left over. How does that go into, how much have we historically, I guess, spent out of the facility? Money and stuff like that, like,
It depends on the plan. It depends if we do roofs. It depends on if we do a parking lot out here. It depends if we do sidewalk fronts.
It just boils down to priorities.
okay, so as
And
I,
it boils down to where we're at the end of the year, how much of that transfer I actually make,
That's
depending on where I'm at cash wise and what's happened during the year.
That's true too.
And then there's the unknown. We don't know what's gonna happen at that school next. I mean, we've had different things happen to us in the last year that required some immediate types of monetary fixing. And things have been fixed. But what next? I mean, you got an old system up there, some older buildings, and yeah, they've been things done to them to make them better, but there could be a problem at any time. We could have sewer issues. We could have additional water issues. There's the parking lot issue. There's all kinds of different unknowns that we don't know. And if we invest our money on that building, which is going to be setting because we don't have the money to go in and revamp it for any other purpose than just to set over there, we've invested a lot of money on the side that we can't get to again. It's out of our reach. It's non-discretionary anymore. And we will have money needs that we don't know right now that are unknown. And we do know that our income base is not going to be as fluid as it has been. So what do? Do we prep for the future so we can maintain? Because if the next step after that investment, the next step in order to be able to finance the school is going to be shut down something. We're going to lose a program.
So Ray, what happens 3 years from now when that building caves in and the insurance won't insure it? And it caves in and we have no place to store any of our equipment. And then we're looking at a $500,000 hole. Doesn't it behoove of us to think ahead before that happens and spend less money than what we know the inevitable is going to happen? That it's just a matter of time that building is going to be condemned. And when that happens, we're going to be holding a huge hole with a bag. And I'm concerned about that. We also have $1 million in the bank. You know, and I don't know what it'd take to get to that, but let's just say for kicks and giggles that we had 800,000. Does that make that much of a difference? You know, I don't know. I think that's a question you have to ask yourself.
2 teachers, right?
But we're not spending it. It's just cash. We're just bankrolling it every year. So
well, things come up and we have to spend it. Things that we don't know. And I just have, from my past experience, you could get an Armco steel building and put it up behind the big gym in that area behind the gym and make one heck of a storage out of it. And it's an Armco steel building and they're not that expensive. I don't know where the $500,000 to replace that bus barn's coming from, but you can, that's seems a little high to me.
So Ray, yeah, well, that too. So where we live, so I work with a ton of builders and I look at building contracts all the time. So for one, that bus barn or any building on this campus that houses equipment or machinery or vehicles of any kind needs to be secure. We can't have it just be something that could be jimmy rigged open for kids to get in there and destroy property. It needs to be stable to handle snowpack and all the other environmental things that we have going on up here. And any contractor that drives up here or brings a crew up here for any reason is going to cost more than in town. So their price per square foot up here is going to be higher than in Medford. And so, I did some math myself when Dave was talking. The price that Corey quoted for that supposedly barn, I think is actually low. I think it would end up costing more because once you tie in, making sure you're compliant with electricity and sewer and all that other stuff that has to be done, water and everything and buildings like that, it's gonna cost more than that $74 per square foot. So I think on the other side of this, if being proactive is that we're trying to accomplish something without spending $500,000 and a building is already up and essentially suitable just for storage. And if we had the money to buy it and secure it, then that would solve the problem of lack of storage on campus and solve the problem of potentially having an issue with that barn in the near future. Obviously when that happens, we don't know when, but, so that's just my thoughts on it. I think building a new bus barn is out of the question for this district. It's just too expensive. It's too expensive. And, a pole barn per se that's fully enclosed is still going to be expensive. So I think that it's important that if we're looking at a building we're not gonna move kids into that building right away, but we are gonna put buses and equipment and whatever else we need to in there to keep it secure. I do believe we would need to put a plan in place to make sure it is fully secure, because as far as I know, there are people in Prospect that have busted in there and are living in it and have lived in it. So it needs to be a little extra money on top of whatever we end up spending to make sure it is fully secure and locked down, so that nobody can get into it.
That might even be something that you could negotiate in a sale agreement too,
Possibly.
potentially,
Or you could just lower the sales price knowing that
Yeah.
you're gonna have to put money into it.
right?
There's some negotiation probably, because I don't know how long it's been up for sale, but I don't see anyone knocking down doors to buy that building anytime soon.
I mean, he wanted 200,000, we looked at it before, now we think we could get it at 175. And he's gonna spend 20 or 25 cleaning it up. But again, there's maybe some environmental concerns, the water seems to be fine, the septic system hasn't been pumped in 25 years. So it would need to be pumped, there's a couple of roof leaks that need to be fixed, but with some mold that needs to be cleaned.
Well, here's how it stands, guys. I'm opposed to the idea, but I'm only one of 5. If you 4 want to go for it, go for it. But I'm going to vote no on it, and I don't think we should invest that kind of money at this stage of the game. But I'm one of 5. If you think it's worthy of doing it, go for it. And keep in mind that when we sit at the table, I'll sit in the chair. I'll sit in the comfy chair.
Well, the cool thing is, Ray, is no decisions have to be made. I mean, what my recommendation is just to inquire further, that's all. And find out more information. And I
I'll
think
do it.
it's a smart thing to do.
Just do it. I'm just opposed to the idea of spending that kind of money on another building when we've got issues, I think, that need to be addressed around our existing facilities and place, and to project it into another one just to add another money pit to have to, recondition and get it ready for whatever uses we may want of it. And it's biting off another pole barn, and I don't want to buy another pole barn.
If you write the check, we'll put your name on it, Ray.
Well, when I pass away here, maybe I will.
You're not passing away anytime soon.
And you guys better get used to that idea, because it's going to happen.
Ray, I
Well, all
don't
this
think you
on-
need to get a storage building behind the gym with setbacks and soil packs and all of that right next to that gully.
I worked for an outfit in Wyoming
Still,
when the weathers could get to like 40 below. And we bought Armco steel buildings, and we put compressor plants in them that are worth $25 million. And they were secured and unattainable. And we had snow loads on them that were higher than these buildings you guys are walking in. And we didn't spend anything more than $25,000 to $100,000, depending on the size that we wanted. So it's red steel arches and it's metal building. And they're more secure than any building we've got.
When's the last time you priced one of them?
It's been a few years. I've been at the school for a few years. So yeah, they're going to be higher, but still they are prefabbed. You just bolt them together. Anyway, that's just my opinion. So again, I'm one of 5. If you want to look into it, I have no problem with looking into it.
Your thoughts, Josh?
I'm mixed, where I'm kind of neutral on it because looking at money and the money conversation going, that's a huge risk. When you add in enrollment off of that, enrollment is not increasing to a huge degree to pay for it. And then what do you do with it? I like the idea of replacing the pole barn with it. I mean, that does make good sense, but is it something that needs to be done right now, or is it something we can weather past the next legislative session, which kind of sets the next biennium budget and gives us, you know, a 2-year microscope pretty close down the road versus a year and a half that's gonna be kind of funky.
Yeah. My dad used to say this all the time. If you wait to have a baby, you'll never have a baby. If you wait until you can afford to have a baby, you'll never have a baby. There's no risk without reward, or no reward without risk. And the reality is that we don't know how long that building's gonna sit. Who knows? Yes, it's a buyer's market and anybody could come in, but probably nobody will. But it's a risk too. That building is 14,500 square foot, and it's metal with concrete floors, concrete stem walls. I mean, to build that building, it cost $2 million.
Yeah.
And to be able to buy that building for $175,000, I think it's crazy that we don't at least try to problem solve and figure out a way to consider it, because and it's not that your points are very valid, and it's all a concern, but I'm a risk taker, and I look at it from the standpoint that next winter we get 3-foot snow load on there and it caves in and all of our equipment is buried and we got a $500,000 huge issue. And then what do? We're screwed.
So, what if we just, I mean, I'll make a motion, but I feel like we should just move to get some, first of all, get some quotes for potential thing. First of all, find out, do some inspections, find out what needs to be done. What has to be done tomorrow, what can wait 2 years from now, right? Because the tomorrow problems are the ones that we would be required to do if we're gonna acquire the property.
Yep.
So know those things. Cost of, securing the building, what that looks like. You know, if we ended up acquiring it, what is it gonna cost to make sure it is fully secure? And then, finding out what kind of term of contract, the buyers or the sellers willing to go through. Do we have to do it in a month or can we wait 6 months? Like, we just kind of need to fill that person out too.
Can I give you a recommendation? Why don't you just have 2 board members answer those questions and research it and come back and report to the board next month?
Which ones?
All of them. I don't care who. I'm just
I think
saying.
the problem that we get into, we're at the point we have the information, so we're at the point either we explore the cell or we don't explore the cell.
Yeah.
Right, but
So exploring the cell starts when you start investing.
We need to do investigation, we need to do inspections, we need to do,
Well, he'll do the inspections, but we have to enter into a sale agreement before he wants to kick into that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because of the expense, because it costs money.
Right, yeah. There's the caveat.
So if the board decides they want to buy it, that's got to be contingent of the sale agreement that environmentally the place is clean. And if it's not, then you get out of the sale agreement.
Right.
I think it's the most economical way to buy us time. It gets us the building, it gives us the time to budget over the course of time to do something different with the bus barn. Whether it's fix it or take it down or whatever.
Yep.
That is. It buys us the time to do whatever it is we need to do with that. And then when that's done, we can do whatever with that. You have the building. If it came down to it, you could sell, we could sell it. We had to. There's always that possibility too.
If things were a little bit different, I know two companies that would be interested in it, but it's the wrong timing for them. Talk to them about it.
I think for me to be more comfortable to support moving down the south, I think I want to know more about the transfers and plans for the future. You know, over the next month, what is our potential, like, I know it's part of the comprehensive plan, but that's not gonna get us to it today.
Yeah,
Where are we at with potential, what we need to buy, what we need to do in the future for maintenance, kind of where we're at, and kind of what the expected extra dollar amount might be. And then if that comes up where it's positive, then so be it. I think unfortunately without that, then we're making a lot of uneducated assumptions over what we need to do here on this facility before we invest somewhere else. I like the idea if we're gonna buy it, spending cash and doing it, then it's out of the way, but that's big cash, especially looking at the next year. So I think I need more of a, here's how we're going to afford it.
We also look at the future of the school with it, where you're gonna find that opportunity.
it's close enough to run tractors back and forth. Yeah,
Buses, whatever.
So is there a motion to move towards a sell?
So you
Or
think,
just-
so Josh, are you thinking if we table it and we come back to, in the May meeting and talk about it again?
Yeah, I mean,
By
I'm
then-
good with.
By then
tabling
we
it,
would
but-
have the comprehensive plan information.
But I think I want more dollars and pennies from
But that would be
Sherry
a what?
and Day.
Oh.
So,
Okay,
how do we afford it?
and come back in April and report to you.
Yeah, April, May, however long it takes to, I mean, the building's been for sale for half a decade and ain't gonna go into work tomorrow.
yeah, it's,
But I think I want more, I mean, Sherry, you're our fiduciary, so I want like,
We were here a year ago. That's why I budgeted the contingency, how it's budgeted, if you decided to move forward at the building at that time, because we were having these same conversations and I was trying to put a budget together a year ago. So it's budgeted within there, if that's the direction you decide to go.
so
but I
that,
think it'd be more pertinent going, okay, the money's here, and we're preparing for next year's budget.
But what else then, yeah,
Right,
as
so
far as
it's-
the input of what, 1-3 year, what other facility and what other projects are we looking at?
Yeah, in conjunction with the two, is it carryover now, if it's not, like, how do we marry the two to get to accomplish what we have now versus expanding? And if the cash is there and you come back, the cash is there, we can do it with minimal impact, I think that changes the equation, I think I wanna see here's the budget breakdown, here's how we can do it versus let's talking about possibilities. And then that make me more secure in a decision.
I think we ought to get a new floor in the gymnasium.
You can almost see the now, so we're getting close.
Yeah.
Anyway, anybody else have anything?
Build another pole on it. Listen to that.
We'll put
Five-year.
together some ideas and some dollars, and then I might even reach out to Ray and get the name of his steel buildings, and we'll come back with more info too.
didn't we talk about in our last comprehensive plan meeting, which I can't remember, 'cause it was a while ago, about projects?
Yeah,
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 So,
we're creating a
why don't
budget
we,
list.
why don't we table this for this month and talk more in our comprehensive planning about projects? Put those together and then come back.
We're working on that right now, actually.
Okay,
Yeah,
so,
that gets coupled with the budget.
yeah, I think we should do that. I think we should do that and then come back in April and have another discussion.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
Okay, anybody else have anything else on that?
well, you gotta table it.
I wanna know, I'm thinking 200.
If it's old business, isn't it just there forever until we do something with
Yeah,
it?
it's just in business.
It
It's
just
not,
lives
it's
in
not a
old
motion
business?
item.
You've got it listed as an action item, but you can do it any way you want.
Yeah, it's just listed in old business for,
So we're not moving it to anywhere. We're just.
Yeah,
gonna
it's
Just
leave it
a
as old
conversation.
business. Leave it there.
It wasn't an action item.
okay, moving on to 6.1 school calendar.
Oh, Mr. Wetzel, you get to lead this one.
This is mine, this is awesome. So I appreciate the data input and the data back. But one question I have from this,
Ooh,
earlier.
What?
The power just kind of spiked here.
Oh,
At least you weren't just seeing it. That's a good thing.
Well, the phone won't go off, but my air will.
So looking at the calendar, one question I had for Mr. Day, Mr. Stone, there we have version 1 and 2, pre-Labor and post-Labor Day. But in the post-Labor Day, we're proposing a third graduation. The reason why we're proposing a Thursday.
no, it was a
graduation.
mistake.
It was a typo.
Yeah,
Got a whole
should've-
lot of mistakes.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, I thought that got voted.
it was a typo.
Overwhelmingly.
And the staff, largely, they were voting on pre-Labor Day, but post-Labor Day, and what, not looking at the minute details
I
of.
just want to make sure you didn't change the line.
No, I'm indifferent about it. I actually think it should be on Friday, but it wouldn't kill me if it was on Thursday.
Well,
It might kill some other people.
I can't come to this year's graduation because it's on. Bummer.
That's hard.
That have to go to Coda's graduation.
Yeah, well, that's not because, yeah,
That's a good excuse to miss
I
it.
know, I know. I'm just kidding. Okay,
I'll be
so
at work.
keep talking.
So we just need a motion to approve pre-Labor Day calendar for version 2, the post-Labor Day calendar.
I say that.
Well, there was. I say what the staff wanted because it was pretty overwhelming.
Yeah, yeah, whatever the stuff on, which is pre-Labor Day.
Start earlier, get out earlier.
So you making that motion?
Yes.
I'll second it. He'll second it.
Simon seconds. Any questions or debates? And we will start with Ms. Williams.
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Mr. Williams,
Yes,
I am voting yes as well, and Mr. Rose.
Yes.
All in favor. 6.2 Superintendent's Evaluation. It's included in packet that you signed. Get a motion to accept 6.
I move to accept 6.2.
Also.
Any questions or debates? Hearing none, then we will start with Ms. Baker. Mr. Williams,
yes,
I vote yes as well. Mr. Rose,
Yes.
Ms. Williams.
Yes.
Moving on to 6.3 Superintendent Contract, you'll see it in there. This is negotiated with Ray and Natalie and Mr. Stone. It's a 3-year contract with 1-year salary for 26-27. Any questions or a motion?
the contract is a 3-year contract. It goes to 29. The term ends in 29.
Yeah. But I thought last year we did 3.
We just added the one that expired in 27, so this will be a fresh 3. Yeah.
Can I motion or?
Yep.
Okay, I'll motion to approve.
Oh, I thought we did.
Okay, so Natalie motions to accept 6.3. Is there a second? I'll second.
I'll second.
And Simon seconded, it's motion second. Any other questions or debate on it? And I think this one starts with Mr. Williams.
Yes,
I vote yes as well. Ms. Rose?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Baker?
Yes.
6.4 is the principal renewal contract for Mr. Bryant. All the details are in there. Again, it's 1 year. 1 year. Salary increase, yeah.
Same thing as the superintendent.
Is there a motion for 6.4? Debbie, second by Natalie. Any questions or debates? Then this time I'll start with myself. I vote yes. Mr. Rose?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Baker?
yes,
Mr.
Oh.
Williams?
yes. Natalie, one of us is gonna have to change our last name.
Oh, come on, I have to go through it. You guys can figure it out.
Just go with Ray and I'll answer.
Mr. Williams.
No, I'll just call Ray.
Yeah, correct.
There you go.
So 6.5, we handle through the consent motions. Right? Do we need to have a separate motion on that?
Nope, I don't think so. It just shows it in the personnel action report that Regina's contract was non-renewal due to the expiration of SCG funding.
But she's looking for a grant.
She is.
And then 6.6 certified teacher renewals, Mr. Stone.
And there's a list in your packet, of where teachers sit, whether they're year 2, 3 probationary or contract. And so you got the list there that's in the contract action, so just entertain a motion on that.
We have quite a bit that are leaving probation.
Yep,
I move to approve 6.6 certified teacher renewals.
Okay, motion there, second. Any questions or debates? This time we'll start with Mr. Rose.
Yeah.
Ms. Baker, or Ms. Williams.
Yeah.
Ms. Baker. Mr. Williams.
Yes,
And I also, yeah. And that concludes our business, upcoming dates, archery on March 14th, Career Expo on the 18th, we're invited to. The Bay Convention on the 18th, 22nd, somewhere is the National Honor Society is also on the 13th.
This Thursday.
This Thursday, okay, that we're all invited to, and then spring break, so everybody can get a reprieve. Perfect. With that, at 7:36, I will adjourn the meeting.
Everybody say.
all right.
thank you, team.
Hey, Ray,
Yes,
I don't know if you know yet, but we got another one on the way.
Uh-oh.
oh, wow, really?
Yeah. Another girl.
Oh, my goodness.
Decide.
Hey, yeah.
No, I did not.
Okay.
Forgive me.
I thought it was making sure contracts.
Yeah, it's not too sweet.
Am I good to end this?
Yep.